man with this. So when I hurt my girl, which I've done over and over, and I commend her for even being with me, and I said it in my podcast, and I'm gonna say this and stop. I called one of my partners who's brilliant. He said, when you hurt somebody, where you leave them is where they stay. So I think our parents, our grandparents, our uncles, the people.
So this is the issue that I have with Clifton. He's talking about how he's hurt his girl over and over again. And the fact that this grown-ass man, 70-year-old man, is referring to his woman, or I don't even know if he's married, somebody let me know, as a girl is problematic. And then he goes into saying that although he's hurt her over and over again, that he commends her for staying. Now, that's nothing to be commended for. Staying while you're being abused and hurt and not treated fairly or right in a relationship is not something that is commendable. It's actually sad. And what Clifton doesn't understand is that his action and his behavior is teaching the future generation of men how they should behave with women. But some of the men are pushing back at the table, i.e. Joseph, someone that doesn't even fuck black women. Now, what we don't see in the beginning is that this whole table talk opens up with the men discussing black women's reproductive issues. Now, I don't have a problem with black men discussing black women's reproductive issues, but this was not the topic that was supposed to be discussed. My issue is that in holding each other accountable, black men seem to always need to bring us up. And bringing us up in a way that's not about who we are, but about our bodies. That's the issue. The issue is men's inability to discuss women without discussing their bodies, without discussing our anatomical makeup. That is a huge problem. It's a huge problem because outside of what women can provide from their bodies, they still need to be humanized because we are humans. One of the men named Alphonse opens up at the group and he discusses how he has some guilt around his lack of understanding towards women's reproductive issues because he didn't quite understand it until he became a dad himself. Here's why this is an issue. It took for a woman to be given birth to one of your children for you to understand how severe childbirth is and how detrimental that could be to someone's body and health. Now, we can't begin to discuss women's rights and reproductive issues with men who don't even understand us or take the time out to listen to what we have to say. And listening means listening to actually listen and not listening to respond. And I think intergenerationally, this is the issue that we tend to have because Clifton is so bent on getting his point across, he's not listening to what Joseph is actually saying. And what Joseph is asking is, when are you actually going to take responsibility for yourself as a man?